Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
Mardi.
Welcome to the show, my love.
Hello, my love. Well, thank you for having me.
Definitely. You're a friend, and also you're an amazing, talented writer, creator. A little background. We met some years ago at a Starbucks coffee shop, and the rest was history.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to fast forward now, you have a book out that you published, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But I like to always start from the beginning. What was young Mardi like? Growing up, and how was that? And then finding her way creatively.
Oh, that's a deep question. Okay. Young Mardi, I'd say, was introverted, but I think secretly extroverted. Like, I used to love being adventurous. I mean, I still do, but young me was just more like, I wanted to play with everyone. I wanted to, do what everyone else was doing, climb the trees, run, just adventure, have fun, be a kid, and just constantly explore places. And the thing is, I feel like my environment didn't allow me to explore that much. So it caused me to be more reserved, shy, quiet, introverted. And for a while, and for a kid, that's difficult because, I work with kids as well. And I think it's, vital for them to grow and, develop properly in a setting, in an environment that allows them such room for growth. And I didn't have that. So my outlet was something creative. And it started off with this idea of a version of myself I wanted to be so badly. I wanted to be that girl who had this sword and had a reason to fight and had a destiny and had a calling, and I can go anywhere and everywhere I wanted to go, and nobody would stop me. Nobody would try to prevent me from being the free, unlimited version of myself. And so thus I started drawing a girl that I wanted to be, that I couldn't be, not in the time, place, or setting in which I was in when I was a
Wow.
child.
Wow.
So that's where she started, and started off as a drawing and turned into a character, turned into what is her purpose in life? And throughout the years, that's built who she was, and now she's my book character.
That's absolutely amazing. Like that, I find that absolutely inspiring
Thank
because,
you.
the fact that, most people kind of fold in situations like that. They're kind of like, when they go through tough times, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
that's it for me. But the fact that you had this tenacity and this drive that's just kept you moving forward, what do you think that is? Like, what do you think that comes from?
Well, you humble me. I think it comes from the desire, the deep driven passion to just want to live. Like, I know when we hit our worst, a lot of people hit depression. A lot of us think, the worst thing, and we feel like we don't really want to be here. But I think deep down we do. Like me, I wanted to just live, and I didn't paint living as get a 9 to 5, go to school, go to college, um, spend the rest of your life paying off debt and paying off things, paying off just trying to be, quote, alive and existing in this world. I took this drive to live as there's a ginormous world out there, and we're a small part of it. And I want to see it all. But instead of seeing it all, I thought, if I can't see it all, then maybe I can imagine what it would be like if I were to see different parts of a world.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy. Like I can't imagine, there's some people in the world that go through a lot of things, and then they kind of, the fact that you can overcome these things.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
And, you're not a product of your environment, which is right. It's like, wow, how do, that drive that you have. And would you say that that creates good writing for you? And then, how, like, where did this idea stem from? Because, is this just your life, or is just kind of, are you into anime? Like what sparked this book and like that creative process?
It's a number of things. It's definitely, how do I put it? I did like anime. But before I liked anime, I remember I've had a relative who used to visit Japan, and he would come back with little knickknacks and cute stuff from there. And I was a child, and I couldn't tell the difference with Japan or any other country, like, let alone my own. And I remember one time listening to a CD that he gave to me, and I understood nothing. It was all in a different language. At that time, I didn't know what language it was, but I just loved the sounds of it. And those sounds from the music that I listened to painted these images in my head. And I think that's where I started to see that it's a number of things that plays into creating something like this world and this creative process. It's music, it's your own life, it's experiences, it's people, because more often than not, we base characters and stories off of real people or real encounters that we have with others out there.
Right.
Experiences, though it's a fantastical world, it's very relatable. It's, let's say we're going into a tavern or something, or sorry, a bakery in this fantasy world, and somebody's being rude. It's not totally unrealistic, because that experience alone is relatable to the outside audiences who are reading it. So I take creativity from every and all aspects of life, from music to sounds to feelings to experience, people, life, everything. And I think that's what makes up stories, and that's what makes up life for what it is.
I see. I love that. It's beautiful.
Thank
Question.
you.
And,
Yeah.
I can't imagine the grueling hours that it took to get this book going, and then the time that it take. But does writing energize you, or does it exhaust you?
It energizes me for sure. Like I'm not one of those individuals that I know gets really exhausted after like writing a few pages or anything. Like, no, this is my calling. This is where my brain, my heart, my soul all come together in sync in this harmonious manner. And every time I write, I'm drifting. I'm somewhere else. I'm happier. And the hours are definitely grueling, because I'd say the fun part is writing the story out, piecing it together as you go. But the hours that goes into it is, let's say you stumble upon, all right, I got this far. I created most of the journey up until now. Now I'm stuck. Okay, what else is going to happen to lead up to like the end, for example? And everyone's process is different. Mine doesn't usually take a long time when it comes to writing the actual story. What takes me a long time is the editing process, going back, scrapping what's unnecessary, adding what's important, catching the little plot holes, or, that sort of stuff. But it's definitely something that energizes me more than anything.
Well, that's good. What's the, what do you think the common pitfalls for aspiring writers are? What's some hard things, the hardships that you have to go through trying to get your book out there, like
Right.
to be a writer?
The hardships. Okay. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of decision making, investing, time crunching on making, really short decisions. And I know it's like, depending on the route you go, it can really go either way. I've chosen the traditional publishing route because personally, as an individual, I would not be okay with anybody taking damn near all the rights to my novel or my entire series. Yeah, and that's what traditional publishing does. If you go, yeah, and these are the ones that these are the things that I think end up hurting authors more than anything. It's some people, like one of my favorite authors, she creates a lot of books from the same, universe or same world build up. But from what I don't know how much control she has over it. And what I do know, as somebody who's researched traditional publishing, the people who basically buy the property of your work can tell you which way the story is going to go or end or start or begin. And on top of them making the majority cut of what you should be earning, considering you did all the work.
Yeah,
so
this is it's actually the same in the film industry. I feel like
that's
if you're independent, like I just had a really good conversation with another filmmaker friend of mine, and we're talking about how you want distribution, you want people to see your films, right? You want to be able to
absolutely
reach out to you want to be on Amazon, you want to be on those platforms, but then the problem with that is that they take a big cut. So you're essentially not really making what you put into making the film entirely, down to actors and all that. So it's really rough out there.
It is. And the crazy thing is, sorry, I'm adjusting myself.
Take your time.
The crazy thing is like, even doing the self-publishing route kind of works the same way. Like right now, I've been doing it through Amazon. Here's the funny thing is, like, you're sold that you get 60% of royalties, and
Mm-hmm.
Amazon only makes 40%. But what they don't tell you until a little bit later, as you dive more into it, that 60% includes you paying for the printing costs, which is a huge chunk of change.
Wow.
So, for example, my paperback version of my novel, I had no choice but to put it at $18.99,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I wouldn't normally charge for a paperback. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't even make
Money back.
$3. I think I'm making $2 for an $18.99 book.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's the con of the whole industry of being a published author. No matter which way you go,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of are still being screwed in some sense. But the only thing that I can give props to Amazon for is, unlike a traditional publisher, nobody has those rights to the story aside from myself. And I'd much rather take that route than giving someone my property, something that I've spent my entire childhood to adulthood and adolescence working on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'd be damned if someone takes the rights to that book. It's like, no way.
No, I totally understand that. And I think that's the time that we're living. It's great. It's great exposure to be on Amazon. It's really good. It's a good look. And I think as time goes on, I think the goal, I think for a lot of people and to figure that out is, it's great to work for a corporation that, has, essentially an audience already built into it, a structure, and you just sell them your stuff. It's great. But ultimately, if we can cut out the middleman and then be able to control our assets, because a lot of people don't understand that this business that we're in, the creative process, it's a grueling one. It's a lot of work, but kudos to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you think that people, or do you think someone could be a writer if they don't have emotions strongly up like towards a story? Do you think they, do you think it's basically, we live in a time where everyone wants to be seen, everyone's like, I'm an author, I'm doing it. And they're just doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you think separates true art form versus someone who's just trying to make a buck?
That's a good question. I think what separates the two is certainly the passion and the drive to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say for 100% certainty that I know whether someone without emotions or lack thereof can write as good as somebody with it,
mm-hmm.
being as though I've never been in that position.
Stephen King.
But
everyone writes his stuff or makes his stuff up. Like he's the GOAT when it comes to the whole.
But did he do it like without emotions?
No. He's someone I think.
Right.
Emotions behind it, because it shows, it speaks, right? His work speaks for itself.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely, and that's what I mean. Like, but then when you look at all these, like, I can only imagine that you need, and it's vital, it's important to have the emotions behind the storytelling, because they say stories come from the heart, and what are you writing if not from the heart? I know, just as you said, everybody wants to be seen and everybody wants to do what the other person's doing. And I mean, I've grown up with people who've talked about doing stuff that they, like a couple people told me to, like, oh, I would love to be a writer. Like, I want to be a writer. I'm writing a story. And I remember I talked to the same person for years, and people would just give me the same response and say, I'm working on it, or I want to do it. Like, I want to do it. And that's the thing. It's like, rather than wanting to do it, you just have to do it. There are stories that have not like fleshed out, but for example, I had a story idea, just a very small concept back in 2013, 2014. And I have never forgotten that concept because back then I used to draw still. So I drew out like a couple of like animal like creatures that I thought that the story is centered around, and that was it. I didn't come up with the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I also came up with another concept like 3-4 years ago when I went to the Sequoia Forest, and both of these stories weren't fleshed or built up. But this year alone, for that first story I came up with the animals, or these magical creatures, I just fleshed the entire thing out. Like, I think last week or earlier this week, it suddenly just came as a rush to me, like, oh my God, I know what the story's about now. So I took my notepad, I wrote the entire thing down,
Wow.
and like what is it? Like beginning, middle, end. And I'm like, wow, it took me this long because I had that idea. I held on to it. I had it in my head, or I wrote it down somewhere, and then it fleshed itself out over time. And it sometimes comes at once, or sometimes you'll have little bits and pieces over time. And this story I had from Sequoia, I also started this year. I hand wrote like a quarter of it. And I never handwrite anything, actually. Like, I always type it up on my laptop. So it all comes from someplace, is what I'm trying to say, basically. And not all stories happen at once, but you have to hold on to what you deem important as a worthy story to tell. And that story will find a way to tell itself through you.
I love that. That's beautiful. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. That's gorgeous. Okay, question. This is kind of a funny one.
Okay, go ahead.
As a writer, right? What would you choose as your like spirit animal or mascot avatar?
An elephant.
Interesting. And why is that?
I think it's, you know what? It's the only animal I've ever connected with. So I am from Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka has a lot of elephants. And I remember back in 2016, we went to an elephant orphanage. So this is not the whole let's ride an elephant that gets tortured kind of elephant. They're free range. They have this big old plot of land that goes so far. And, these people are just helping, keep the elephants grouped up so people can come see them at certain times. And I remember one of these experiences, I went up to what was like a toddler elephant. It wasn't a baby, and it wasn't like a fully grown one either. And I was able to, I was at its eye level. I'm not a very tall person, but I could.
No, but very cute. You're like fun size. Fun size package.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So I met the elephant at eye level, and it was looking at me, and I just felt something deep inside, like a deep rooted connection to this animal. And I mean, I already love animals, but this was something that's just out of this world. It was almost euphoric, and I was really happy. And then suddenly, because I remember pressing my face against the elephant, and I gave the elephant a little kiss, and I was kind of talking to it, or because I didn't know if it's he or she, but I was talking to the elephant, and suddenly its trunk kind of twisted around my t-shirt and held onto it.
Oh.
And I was like, and that's when I felt even more like there is something like spiritually connecting me to elephants. And I don't know if that's like cliche or cheesy, but but
I love it. No, it's great. I love that elephant. I don't know what mine would be. I don't know. That's awesome though.
They're gentle giants. And
they are.
I think what I feel like represents with me and elephants are that on the outside, I mean, no, they're actually physically strong. And I guess in this way, I'd say mentally, but they're also very gentle creatures. And I would consider myself more gentle. I don't like hurting people, just like elephants don't like hurting people. So that's why I think I also connect closely with them.
I love that. And you are that. You are just that.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to, start writing?
Just write. Don't think about, oh, what if this is good? What if this sucks? Or, oh, I don't really like this idea. Scratch that, forget about it. Or just, oh, how would I even go about doing it? I have to sit and plan it all out. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you just have a single word, a single phrase, a single idea. The moment you write it down, it'll find its way to tell itself. Again, through you. You'll find your voice through the story. And I'd say just, again, go for it. Because the more we talk about something, about how I want to do this or I plan to do this, the less likely we're actually going to do it. We can talk for days about what we want to do, but humankind is notorious for talking about plans and never following through.
Oh, man.
So I'd say just trust your gut, sit down with yourself, a notepad, a laptop, whatever your writing style preference is, and just type up the sentence that comes to mind, type up what the idea of the story is, and let it flow from there.
Love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Great advice. Where can people find this book?
Thank you. Well, you guys, they can find it on Amazon. There's a link in my bio that takes you to the website, which also shows the link to Amazon on where to buy the book.
And what is it called? The name of the book?
It's called Liuith, Legends. So it's called Book 1, Crescent Moon, Sun, Star, and Lightning. And the fun thing is, nobody will know what the acronym Liuith stands for until the very last book.
Love it. I love the little Easter egg hunts. Love it.
Yeah, because right now people are asking me like, what? I'm sorry, what is it? Liuith? What? Liuith? Yeah, you'll get to know what it means later.
Love that. That's beautiful. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And
I appreciate that.
Kudos to you. One last really quick last question. You can just choose one or the other.
Okay.
There's no wrong answer.
Okay.
Promise. Loyalty or respect?
Loyalty.
Nice. Great answer.
Thank you.
Great answer.
Is that something that you ask everyone?
Every guest on the show.
Nice.
Every guest, yeah.
Is there something behind it?
Oh no, just wondering what people choose. It's a character study. Something I like to ask everybody.
What do you think? What do most people choose?
I think a lot of people have said loyalty. Yeah, a lot of women say loyalty, and men say respect. I think they say respect. They're like, well, if respect someone, that means you're also loyal to that person, but not necessarily. It's
I think loyalty.
Different.
I think loyalty is the biggest form of respect.
I think so too.
I agree. I like that though. That's a very good thinking. It makes you thinking. That gets you thinking for sure.
Right. A little rapid fire question at the very end. Make it exciting.
Yeah, I know. Just like, what kind of character are you? No pressure.
But no, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. I'm excited to, for your journey, and congratulations on your new, novel, your book. I'm excited to see, where it goes. And you got to come back again. Let us know when the next one that you're working on. And
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me this time. I really enjoyed this, and I hope everyone can chase their dreams if they want to. Just start chasing it. That's all. Yes. We all got this. We're in this big world for a reason.
That's it. That's what I'm all about. Chase those dreams. Get in your bag. Stay in your bag.
Yep. Stay in your zone.
That's it. Also, awesome. Where do people find you on social media? Really quick.
They can find me on Instagram at mardi.createstories. That's honestly where I am usually.
Awesome. Thank you again. And thank you guys for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. Bye, guys.
Thank you.